Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Monday, the 16th of December, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed down a little over 0.5% today to 8,250 points. Local miners fell after the Chinese government failed to deliver a decent stimulus package over the weekend. Wasn't good news from their housing market either. House prices are stalling. Also, Chinese retailers aren't shopping. That is certainly hurting the miners. Tech stocks also suffered today after Nasdaq dropped over the weekend, while the property groups were also lower in general. The banks were higher, as were the retailers. Not a great day for Digico. It's day 2 on the market, listed on Friday, down 5% that day, down another 5% today. Ouch. Shares in Ventia dropped after executives at the infrastructure giant were named in a case over alleged price fixing brought by the ACCC last week. The shares are down 18% in the past 5 days. And the corporate regulator has formally opened an investigation into online retailer Kogan after 2 of its most senior executives, including founder Ruslan Kogan, struck a profitable options deal with the board, enriching them collectively by more than $17 million. Story number 2, retail sales in China were worse than forecast last month. As I mentioned a moment ago, we care because the Chinese consumer is a very powerful driver of global economic growth, and they don't have the foot on the accelerator at the moment. There was also a drop in house prices in China. Generally, the world's second biggest nation is just looking a bit ordinary. That hasn't helped iron ore prices, which are much lower. The positive news, maybe, is that Bitcoin hit a new record high today, above $106,000 a unit. Other cryptos benefited. The Aussie dollar is trading just under 64 US cents. Story number 3, the majority of voters believe Australia will have a minority government after the next election, due by the middle of May next year. The latest Financial Review Freshwater Strategy poll shows the coalition ahead on a 2-party preferred basis, 51 to 49%. The primary vote is unchanged, ALP's at 30%, the coalition at 40%, Greens at 14%. The poll suggests a minority government with Anthony Albanese in charge, but respondents said they expect a minority government with Peter Dutton in charge. Currently, betting markets have Peter Dutton in front. The survey says that in a bunch of areas, Peter Dutton leads Anthony Albanese, including understanding the problems facing Australians, can get things done, has a clear vision for Australia, strong leadership, and shares my values. Anthony Albanese was in front in only 2, would be easy to speak to, and is in touch with ordinary people. Story number 4, Treasurer Jim Chalmers has been busy downgrading the value of mining exports by $100 billion for this financial year. That will hit the bottom line of the mini budget, the MYEFO, which is due for release on Wednesday. Dr. Chalmers yesterday said he wasn't pessimistic about the mining sector, but the downgrade was the reality of weaker demand from China. MYEFO will also include a downgrade in company taxes by about $8.5 billion. It should include lower than expected outgoings in terms of unemployment benefits, given the labour market is so strong. Market economists expect a budget deficit this financial year of between $25 and $30 billion. And story number 5, in Victoria, Treasurer Tim Pallas is leaving politics after nearly 20 years in Spring Street. I'm no expert in state politics, but to last 20 years in Victoria is a pretty good effort. Mr. Pallas said the state's economy is in a strong position, notwithstanding recent data and plenty of criticism suggesting the opposite. The longest-serving standalone state treasurer Victoria has had said it's been an honour and privilege to serve the people of Werribee, which of course is his electorate. Staying local, Canberra Airport today said Qatar Airways will restart flights to the ACT next year after ceasing services during the pandemic. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday, the 16th of December, 2024. Make sure you hit follow on the podcast. We'll be back tomorrow morning with a Tuesday edition of the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.